Teacher talking sports, what it does, what it do, how we live in. Let's continue our NFL Mount Rushmore series. We have reached the final team. Today we are doing the Washington, now known as the Commanders. They have been a franchise since 1932. In that time, they have won 3 Super Bowls and 5 NFL championships. This will be their first season known as the Washington Commanders. Were known as the Boston Braves their first year. Boston Redskins 1933 to 1936, Washington Redskins 1937 to 2019, and Washington football team the previous 2 years, now known as the Washington Commanders. In these Mount Rushmores, I attempt to name the 4 best players in franchise history. As a subjective list, let me know in the comments who you would include. Let's get it started. I named the players in alphabetical order by last name. They are not ranked. Starting with Sammy Baugh. Baugh was selected by the Redskins in the 6th overall pick in the 1937 NFL Draft, inducted into the Hall of Fame in 1963. Played his entire 16 seasons with the Washington franchise. 8 times led the league in completion percentage, 4 times in yards, twice in touchdowns, 3 times in passer rating in his career. Was a 2-time NFL champ with the Washington franchise. Passed away in 2008 at the age of 94. All in all, was named to 6 Pro Bowls and was a 4-time first-team All-Pro. For his career, threw for 21,886 yards and 187 touchdowns. Mighty impressive errors for the era that he Mighty impressive numbers for the era that he played in. Sammy Baugh, the first member of the Washington Commanders Mount Rushmore. Next, he seemingly played forever. That is Darrell Green. Darrell Green was taken with the 28th overall pick in the 1983 NFL Draft. His entire 20-season career was with the Washington franchise, and he was a first ballot Hall of Famer in 2008. All in all, was named to 7 Pro Bowls. Was a first-team All-Pro once. Won 2 Super Bowls with Washington. Intercepted 54 passes in his career. Every season he had at least 1 interception except for his last. So 19 straight years with at least 1 interception. He returned 6 of those interceptions for TDs. Also had 2 fumble recoveries for TDs. Played until he was 42 years old. Darrell Green just was one of the fastest guys in the league and continued to be even as he grew older and older. Also I believe he holds the record for most games played by a defensive player. I'm almost certain of that. 295 career games. Darrell Green, obvious choice for this Washington Mount Rushmore. Next, we got Chris Hamburger. Hamburger was actually drafted in the 18th round, 245th overall in the 1965 NFL Draft. Was inducted into the Hall of Fame in 2011. Played his entire 14 seasons with the Washington franchise. The linebacker was named to 9 Pro Bowls, 4 straight years from 66 to 69, and 5 straight seasons from 72 to 76. Was a first-team All-Pro 3 times in his career. Played before sacks became an official stat. He is credited for 45 and a half for his career. Returned 3 fumbles for touchdowns. Returned 2 touchdowns for 2 interceptions for touchdowns. Chris Hamburger played a total of 187 games, again, all with the Washington franchise. Someone you could count on to definitely strike fear in opposing offenses from the linebacker position, the 3rd member of the Mount Rushmore. And let's end with Charlie Taylor. Charlie Taylor actually, unfortunately, passed away on February 19th, not even a month ago, at the age of 80. Was selected 3rd overall by the Washington in 1964, inducted into Hall of Fame in 1984. He would go on to play a total of 13 seasons, all with Washington. So this Mount Rushmore was Washington lifers. None of these guys played for another team. Was named to a Pro Bowl 8 times, 4 straight years from 64 to 67, and 4 straight times from 72 to 75. Taylor actually started his career as a running back, rushing for 755 yards as a rookie when he was named the Offensive Rookie of the Year in 1964. So for about 2 years, he was a running back before, 3 years before he moved on to receiver in 1966. Had 1,119 receiving yards and 12 touchdowns. That 66 season and 67, he led the league with 72 and 70 receptions, respectively. All in all, for his career, all with Washington again, 649 catches, 9,110 yards, and 79 scores. Also rushed for 1,488 yards and 11 touchdowns, so 90 total touchdowns. Charlie Taylor is the fourth member of the Washington Commanders Mount Rushmore. So again, in alphabetical order, we got Sammy Ball, we got Darrell Green, we got Chris Hamburger, and we got Charlie Taylor. As always, I'll name a bunch of honorable mentions for the Mount Rushmore. Some guys who deserve honorable mention include Russ Grimm, Bobby Mitchell, Sean Taylor, rest in peace, Joe Theismann, Art Monk, John Riggins, Len House, Joe Jacoby, Sonny Jurgensen, Charles Mann, Larry Brown, Gary Clark, Mark Mosley, Dexter Manley, and Ryan Kerrigan, just to name a few. So let me know in the comments who you would include in your Washington Mount Rushmore. I'm done, guys. I've done all 32 teams, but I will also be power ranking them, so stay tuned for that. That's going to be a challenge, power ranking 32 Mount Rushmores of 128 excellent players. That was Matt. That was teacher. I made 32 times 4. I'm also figuring out how to do shorts of these. I do like using YouTube shorts, so I figured I could do Mount Rushmore shorts of the 4 players on each Mount Rushmore. I'm gonna figure out how to do that. So thank you for whoever stayed with me for this series. If you haven't and you're just catching on, don't forget to subscribe. Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend. Subscribe. Like the video, share the video, hit the bell for notifications. I'm out.